Entertainment and Sports Network.
Well, the Yankees have spent 3 days in Minnesota, and the weather has been perfect all 3 of those days. A nice look at Lake Calhoun there as the fans are strolling into Target Field for the final game of a 3-game set against the Minnesota Twins. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball, it'll be the Yankees against the Minnesota Twins from Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hello, everybody. I'm John Flaherty with Al Leiter again. We'll have the 3rd game of this series for you, and a big storyline in tonight's game is going to be the start of Luis Severino, coming off a rough outing his last time. We're going to take a look at our People's United Bank pitchers matchup. It'll be Severino with his 17 wins, 7 losses, a 3.52 ERA, and he's going to lock up against Jake Odorizzi, 5-10, 4.57. But tonight, Al, Severino looking to bounce back after maybe one of his roughest outings of his career.
One of his shortest. You have to go back to the wild card game last year at Yankee Stadium against this Minnesota Twins team. I look at this start, really. I mean, it goes back 11 starts. You go back to July. He has struggled. It's really been an enigma trying to figure out exactly what's been wrong. 6 hits here. You see the line, not good. He had some trouble with Gary Sanchez, pitches. The slider hasn't been as sharp. His velocity is the same, but he has not been as crisp, and it was clearly what the Oakland A's did when he did put the ball over. I mentioned the 6 hits and the 6 runs. He's got to do better than that tonight.
Well, we saw a lot of the video there, but now we're going to see the numbers, and they are not good for Severino since July 7th. The 6.83 ERA, that's last. You look at the opponent's average, 323. Home runs allowed, 2.11, 81st. So the numbers do not lie for Luis Severino, and he's going to be a big topic of tonight's ball game. And everybody wants to know, how can he get better? Meredith Marakovitz has talked to Severino. We're going to hear that when we come back right here on Yes.
Welcome back to Yankees baseball, and yes, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Luis Severino has not looked like his dominant self the second half of the season. Tonight, he will attempt to right the ship. He is pitching on an extra day's rest. I spoke with him in the clubhouse last night to ask him what the biggest key would be for him this evening.
Command all my stuff, fastball command will be, the main thing, and then, try to get up with my secondary pitches.
Were there any particular adjustments you made mechanically in between starts?
Not mechanically, just, look at a little bit of the videos, been missing a little bit up, so, I needed to command my fastball first, and then the second stuff was going to come together.
If the Yankees are going to have success down the stretch, they are going to need Severino to get right. There's also note as far as the pitching staff is concerned, they did add an arm to that bullpen. Chance Adams will be available out of the pen tonight. Plenty more to come here on the S Network. When we get back, John Flaherty will be joined by Al Leiter. First pitch coming your way after the break.
By your local Volvo dealers and by Coke Industries. At Coke, we make things that make the world better. And by Buick. Visit tristatebuick.com for great lease offices. Just another beautiful night here at Target Field, and we're going to take a look at the starting lineup for the Yankees, which is brought to you by Lexus. A similar lineup to last night for manager Aaron Boone. Andrew McCutchen leading off. Aaron Hicks is going to hit second and play center field. Miguel Andujar the last 4 games at .412 batting average. Giancarlo Stanton playing left field again tonight, batting fourth. Didi Gregorius, Gary Sanchez, Luke Voigt. Greg Bird gets a shot at first base tonight, and Gleyber Torres hitting ninth and playing second base.
On the mound for the Twins, Jake Odorizzi. He is not a stranger to this Yankee team. Faced him 15 times in his career, 14-game start. As a matter of fact, you can go back to Yankee Stadium earlier this year. He wasn't very good, 4 2/3 innings. He gave up 5 runs. Let's take a look at the scouting report. Here it is. This is what he has. Fastball, slider, split. Primarily, he's not overpowering. He's going to throw right around 91 miles an hour. That split is his changeup. He throws about 20% of the time. I mentioned struggling against the Yankees. Well, of late, he's been struggling as well. Last 4 starts, 0-3 on the ERA over 5. And they jump on him early. First pitch, batting average against, which matters. in his 29-game start this year, .471 batting average. So that's 24 for 51, and 6 of the 23 hits he's given up have been home runs.
We'll take a look at the defense, which is presented by Geico. We'll go left to right. The big Grossman playing left field. Jake Cave in center. Max Kepler in right. Adrianza playing third. Polanco at short. Forsythe at second. Joe Mauer playing first base tonight. And Mitch Garver back behind the plate. And he will receive Jake Odorizzi as Andrew McCutchen is ready to go. Takes the first pitch fastball for strike one. See the numbers for McCutchen: 250, 17, and 60 combined with the San Francisco Giants and the New York Yankees.
Well, he's had a heck of an eye this series. 9 at bats, 7 times he's been on base. 5 of them have been walks.
Look at his last 7 games. He's walked 10 times. And Brett Gardner, Meredith told you, is out of the lineup again. McCutchen gets another shot at the leadoff. It's a couple of days for Brett. That fastball just misses off the outside corner. Home plate umpire Sean Barber tonight. Pay attention early to see if he's going to give one side of the plate or the other. You watch Jake Odorizzi, and he kind of goes for that a little abbreviated windup. Not so much out of the stretch.
He started doing that with Tampa. I know Jim Hickey,
yep,
who used to be the longtime pitching coach there, now with the Cubs, and Joe Madden. You've seen a lot of that. I saw David Price really emerged to that kind of side step. Personally, I don't like it. I get why they do it, pitching coaches and pitchers, to simplify their delivery. But I also think there's not a whole lot of flow and deception. It looks rather very simple.
And maybe the stuff goes backwards a little bit. I mean, we always used to talk about get him out of the stretch. You know, you get a better shot with a guy out of the stretch. And McCutchen hits it hard down the third base line. Adrianza with a strong throw. Nice defensive play by the Twins' third baseman.
Well, McCutchen's got some wheels still. Certainly hard smash. Adrianza, nice job. I like the way he collected his feet. Composed, nice firm strike over to Joe Mauer. Once you're out of the box, he's smelling a hit. Getting him out by a step. Nice play.
With one down, will bring up Aaron Hicks. The Yankees come into this game with a record of 90 and 55. The Twins at 66 and 78. Hicks was 0 for 4 in last night's game. The Yankees lost 10-5. A couple of grand slams in that game. Didi Gregorius, Joe Mauer with the big grand slam for the Twins.
Yeah, that absolutely blew open the game last night. That big 6-run inning in the 5th. Read the local paper here. And Mauer, his quote was about, because he's had 5 home runs on the year. He said, all I was thinking about once I got 2 strikes was to not strike out. There he hits one off at center field. Almost hit the batter's eye out there.
Yeah, keep it simple, right? Al told you about Odorizzi, a 4-seam fastball, slider, split, curve, and occasional cutter. Will not overpower you with velocity. Kind of throws the kitchen sink up there. But I guess the split would be the big off-speed pitch.
Set up for it right here. Fastball. He sits right at 90-91. That is below major league average. So he relies on location, movement. And as Flash just said, he'd throw about 4 or 5 different pitches. Here comes that split right here. No.
Left it up. Hicks popped it up. Adrianza going out. Oh, great play by Grossman. He didn't come up with it. A great attempt. Looked like it was in the glove. We talked about it the last 2 days. A lot of ground to cover here at Target Field. And Robbie Grossman almost made a great play.
Yeah, he comes from a long way right here. And it pops in and out of his glove right as he falls down. Boy, that's a long way for Robbie Grossman. So a couple good plays from Gardner in the first game. Yeah, just kicked out as soon as his wrist hit the ground. Very spacious here at Target Field, unlike the old Metrodome. Ball seems to be flying more the last couple years. I know the first year this place opened, if it wasn't one of the hardest places to hit a home run, it was certainly down below.
Yeah, I think that has changed now because the ball's flying here as Hicks fouls off another fastball. I mean, you just watch batting practice. These guys are putting on a show. Like Gary Sanchez with that 460-foot home run the first night.
So yesterday the Yankees didn't hit. Today they hit. Wow.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge hit in BP. I know Meredith Marakovic will talk about that later.
Odorizzi working from the first base side of the mound. You know, Al, I guess I would relate that to a hitter stepping in the box and kind of moving around a little bit, maybe with a different type of a pitcher. It just create a little angle when you work from that side of the mound.
So every pitcher should identify they have a 24-inch pitcher's mound and 17-inch wide plate. So however your strength is or what your pitches do as far as movement, take advantage of it.
The foul ball from Hicks.
Yeah, these are just, he's coming right at him. 93, 90. That was his best fastball.
Well, we were told that Odorizzi will elevate the fastball, trying to get some swings and misses. You elevate the fastball, you go down with the split. 7 pitches this at bat for Aaron Hicks. Always felt like these at bats early in a game really set the tone for a pitcher, whether it's going to be his night or not, who will win this battle. Miguel Andujar waiting on deck. He had another multi-hit game last night. Comes the 2-2. This ball popped up. It's like Forsythe going out. Make the play. 2 down. Let's look at the game time weather, which is presented by Bigelow Tea. We talked about it for 3 days. Just another gorgeous day here in Minnesota. 81 degrees, 51% humidity, 11 miles per hour with the wind, and the forecast again mostly sunny.
Amazing, amazing 3 days up here. Beautiful.
I mean, when you look at the schedule for Minnesota, and you're coming here in April, wow, get ready. It'll be a little chilly.
Yeah, April's much worse than September here.
2 down, bring up Miguel Andujar. Waves at a first pitch slider.
All right, so what you're talking about, Flash, here it is. He's on the first base side, which is unusual. Once upon a time, righties were mostly on the third base, lefties on the first base, as I was. And now it's where your release point is and what you're trying to have the illusion of your pitches are to a hitter. And in the case with Odorizzi, he's got a lot of two-seam, so he's on the first base side, and he throws that split that has down and in action to the righty or away on the lefty. So it's just, it's feel, it's also comfort as to where guys stand. But it's interesting for me watching now present-day major leaguers. They've now reversed it. Lefties were on the first base, righties on the third base, and it's really opposite now. Most guys.
Comes the 0-2 to Andujar, fouled it off. I always listen to pitchers say, I got to be able to drill that down and away on the outside part of the plate. So I would just assume that Odorizzi, that will give him a little bit easier time to get the ball away on a righty.
Good point. Now, if you could stay there, Cooney. Up, long line. That's the line going all the way to home plate, right? So to your point, Flash, he's in line with what would be a true flight, if you will, to the outside corner.
The 0-2. Cutter off the plate. Well, you think back to those great pitching staffs for the Atlanta Braves, and I had a conversation with pitching coach Leo Mazzoni one night over a few sodas, and he was talking about that down and away is what we preach on every side session. The guy's got to be able to drill it 9 out of 10 times And if he can do that, everything else will fall into place. And that's exactly what Severino said when he was talking to Meredith. Fastball command.
And I guarantee Leo didn't say anything about velo.
No. No. Down and away. We're going to drill that outside corner and go from there. And I made the mistake of saying, well, you can't just pitch away. And he said, I didn't say away, John. I said down and away. You can pitch down and away. We're very successful doing it. 2-2 to Andujar. Another breaking ball down.
Can't say enough great things of what Miguel Andujar has done this year. Offensive metrics. He's going to be right there in tough competition with probably the fan favorite, if you will, on Shohei Ohtani with the Angels. But where would they be without him? Consistent.
Say hey or Shohei? What was that? Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani. No, not him. I'm talking about Andujar.
Ground ball right back up the middle. Forsythe. So Odorizzi had to work a little bit, but he had a 1-2-3 inning. Off to a good start. But the storyline of the night will be Luis Severino. We'll get our first look at him next. By Lexus. This is what manager Paul Molitor came up with. Joe Mauer playing first base again. Jorge Polanco at shortstop hitting second. Eddie Rosario back in the lineup. He had been nursing a quad issue. Robbie Grossman will clean up. You see the numbers the last 13 games, 359. Logan Forsythe, Jake Cave, Mitch Garver behind the plate. Max Kepler will play right, and Adrianza will hit ninth.
And that lineup will be facing Luis Severino, 24 years old. This guy has 7 days rest since that Oakland start where he didn't get out of the third inning. 17 wins, career high. He's having a good year, but here right to it. Tale of 2 seasons, absolutely. His first 18 starts, 13-2 with a 1.98. His last 11, not so good. 4-5 with a 6.83. We'll be talking a lot about it tonight. Same velo, batting average up. 97.8 in those first 18 starts, 97.4. However, the batting average in the first 18 games, 214, 389 in those last 11. And strikeout machine, how about this? I was surprised. 202 strikeouts, 5th in the American League. I'll let you go ahead and get this first pitch in before I finish.
You got plenty of time.
Do I? No, I don't. Ruined it.
All right, here's the first pitch from Severino. Good start for him. First pitch fastball.
Sorry, Flash. Is one of only 3 Yankees pitchers in the history of this great franchise that have multiple 200-plus strikeouts. You know who they were?
No.
David Cone and Ron Guidry. That's not a wow?
I'm kind of letting you go with that. I mean, you get plenty of energy at the beginning of this game. I don't want to take it away from you.
When I read that, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I know 200 strikeouts is special, but you got to go to our own David Cone and Gator.
All right, with all of that being said, and there's a graphic to back it up for you. Coney 97 and 98, Ron Guidry 78, 79. With all that being said, Severino has 17 wins, struck out over 200, but the last 11 games, it has been a struggle. 1-2 to Mauer. Slider misses down.
It has. And it's really hard to find. And I was picking through a lot of statistics and metrics, and I'm sure that man right there, Aaron Boone, as well as Larry Rothschild, everybody. You look at him because it's mostly the same numbers with respect to stuff, repertoire, percentage of pitches, what he throws. He's mostly fastball, slider, sprinkles in about 11% changeups. His velo's been about the same, but the results haven't. So you can peel it back a little bit more, and you know, is it mechanics and is it confidence, and you getting bad counts?
Well, and you think back to his last start against the Oakland A's with 2 2/3, 5 earned runs, had some issues with Sanchez behind the plate. That ball hit hard. Torres on his backhand can't come up with it. Be a base hit for Joe Mauer. But Al, there's one thing that I could never understand, or I didn't want to even think about. It was a starting pitcher who comes off a bad outing, and you have 5 days or 6 days in this case to think about it and try to figure out how to get better.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, listen, and it's not just what he did in Oakland. You know, you mentioned about the last 11 starts. It really goes back to the All-Star break, where he's got an ERA that's pushing 7. So it messes with you. There's no doubt about it. I don't care if you have 2 or 3 years in the big leagues or 15.
He's facing Jorge Polanco, who has beat up the Yankees in the series.
He's looked good. I didn't know much about Jorge Polanco, but he has looked good. I missed 80 games because of PED.
And Polanco went 3 for 4 last night. And Al, Severino facing this Twins team for the first time this year, the first time since that wild card game at Yankee Stadium, where he only lasted a third of an inning. So you wonder about some of the negative thoughts that go along with that as well. Polanco right back to Severino, to Gregorius. Nice double play. Good start. Take a look at the defense, which is presented by Geico. Severino looking like he's stretching out there a little bit. Stanton left, Hicks in center, McCutchen in right, and Duhar playing third. Gregorius at shortstop, Gleyber Torres at second. Greg Bird gets a start at first base. Gary Sanchez behind the plate, and Luis Severino out on the mound. All right. Nice 1-6-3 double play, and with 2 down, will bring up Eddie Rosario, who has been the best player for the Twins this year. The Yankees getting the first look at him in Game 3. He's been nursing a quad injury.
That was a good shot right there. Opposite of Odorizzi. Now Severino, is on the third base side, which was very traditional years past of right-handed pitchers on the third base side. That's a good slider right there. Watch here the finish. I mean, he's got a little kind of a slip finish. I don't know if he marginally slipped or fell down a little.
There's the 1-2. There's that fastball trying to dot the outside corner. They don't get the call. Severino was striding off of the mound. Well, if you're talking about fastball command, that's pretty much as good as it gets right there. Doesn't get the call.
And oh, by the way, you mentioned Leo Mazzoni last inning. Those Brave pitchers were getting more than that.
You got that right.
You have your catcher setting up on a 1-2 count, and he nails it. That's the pitch that you don't get as much. It was a ball. It was off the plate a little.
It was.
Yep.
Be a 3-2 to Rosario. It goes slider, and a good one. Nice pitch by Severino, who has a solid first inning. The breaking ball looks good. Fastball command is there. We'll be back for the top of the second. Toyota, the Camry hybrid, is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. And the conversation is, what do you think of the way the Twins recently admitted service time was an issue in the handling of Byron Buxton this year? And that New York chick, I think it sends a bad message to a young player. Buxton has been putting up together solid numbers in AAA and deserved a shot back in the majors. Not calling him up is sending the wrong message. Follow the Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. Well, listen, we know in today's game that service time is a big deal. So the fact that the Twins admitted it may be a little refreshing, that yes, this is part of the decision-making process.
Well, what if by doing that keeps a star player for your franchise another year because of it? You happy about it?
As a Twins fan, you would be happy about it, of course. Now Giancarlo Stanton leading off here at the top of the second.
I know it was only BP, Flash, but he put on an unbelievable display going right center field.
All right. So he's been struggling his last 18 games. Maybe found a little adjustment.
No, I shouldn't say only BP. Do you get something from that? If you're working on something in BP.
Of course. And you know, Meredith told us that, you know, Aaron Boone was saying maybe they found some things mechanically, and if you take that out into batting practice and then finally into a game, that's how you work your way out of some slumps. Last 18 games, a 118 batting average. I'm sure fatigue has to be some part of this. Giancarlo will never say anything like that, playing left field again tonight. He has worked the count to full, and that fastball is going to be up and misses. So a leadoff walk here in the second for Stanton. Take a look at our Jeep scouting report on Didi Gregorius.
Well, back in the swing, we saw it last night. You know, at the triple, the grand slam. Good to have him in the lineup for the Yankees for sure. Wearing out the Twins, he's done well against the Twins franchise in his career. And I put this middle of the lineup guy who saw that. You know, when he was traded, you know, to be the next shortstop after Derek Jeter, you know, a lot of it was he's shorthanded, good fielder. We really don't know what we're going to get offensively, especially with the power. He's got 20+ home runs the last 3 years and has been excellent.
Rock solid defender who gives you what an advantage, right? To have a shortstop who can hit 23, 79 RBIs, was part of all of the runs last night with the grand slam and the triple. Scored a run on sacrifice fly from Sanchez.
Since 16, not his first year because he didn't have 20. 20 home runs, 25, 23 this year. And he's batted third 60 times, fourth 28 times, and fifth in the lineup 20. Top metrics, if you believe WAR, right up there with Lindor and Drelton Simmons from the Angels.
Well, he works underneath this one, pops it up to the right side. Forsythe out, Kepler in. It's going to be Forsythe.
I shouldn't say believe WAR. It is another indice for evaluating players. WAR is wins above replacement. God, David Cohn's probably loving this right now. Flip's going, oh my God, he's going with WAR. It's a metric both offensively and defensively, how valuable a player is.
One down, bring up Gary Sanchez behind the plate again tonight. 0 for 3 in last night's game, a sacrifice fly and an RBI. And I was curious to see if Gary Sanchez would be behind the plate tonight. You know, the last start with Severino in Oakland, there was some communication issues. They were crossed up a few times. There were some wild pitches, some pass balls. So there was a lot going on, and Aaron Boone gets Sanchez right back in there with Severino the next start.
It's great. You know, and they're friends, and it was a tough night, no doubt about it, no matter whichever side you're looking at it, because what you mentioned, the cross-up, it did look like one of them. He was looking breaking ball, got a heater.
Which I was confused about, right? I mean, you know, starting pitcher and catcher, these are all things that you talk about before a game on pitch sequencing and So to get crossed up with a starting pitcher kind of raised an eyebrow for me. Sometimes see that more with the reliever when they're coming in with their different set of signs that they're comfortable with.
Although I have to admit, you know, if you've got multiple signs and you're changing them every inning, you know, sometimes it's easier to have a brain cramp and you forget as the pitcher.
And guys, you're talking about the changing of signs. Luis Severino actually said after that game that he had been used to throwing to Austin Romine. It was the first time since Sanchez had been back that he was throwing to him, and they actually changed the signs going into the game. So there was some miscommunication there. And as far as today is concerned, Aaron Boone said that they worked really hard behind the scenes to try to correct some of those communication issues, and they do not believe it's going to be an issue for Severino or Sanchez this evening.
Sanchez rolls it to third, to second. Oh, Forsythe loses it on the transfer. Would look like an easy double play. Missed opportunity for the Twins.
It was kind of a slow moving double play, right? Watch here, Forsythe clearly on the transfer, just didn't get a handle on it. But with Gary Sanchez not the fastest guy, you would figure this was an easy 5-4-3 double play. Did not keep a hold on it. Well, the Mercedes-Benz Yesmo right here. Transfer doesn't get a grip.
Two down to bring up Luke Voit. He went 0 for 3 last night, was hit by a pitch. DHing tonight. So Al, last night you were talking about some crazy weightlifting video for Luke Voit.
Did you watch it?
I actually saw it. He was bench pressing with, is that what? With one arm, one hand.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Have you ever done that? I mean, you're
kidding me?
I don't know. You're strong.
Blow out a shoulder doing something like that.
The full bar.
45 degrees or 45-pound plates on both sides, the bar, and he's got his hand in the middle of it and is throwing that thing up.
And
like
then
it was
switched.
Yes. Yeah. That was impressive. Foul ball gets a piece of Garver.
How many times that happened to you?
Too many to remember, and there are some, as you see, Paul Molitor is going to come out with a trainer just to make sure that Garver's okay. There are some that get you and you don't even feel it. And there are others, just the angle that will jar you and you'll feel it like in your jaw. And obviously with all of the information about concussions now, this is a smart move to make sure that Garver's okay behind the plate.
And you mentioned it last night that you started using the hockey mask because it was heavier, or no,
it
lighter?
It was lighter. I had neck issues at the end of my career, so I started wearing it and going through some tests here with Garver. And you know, it's amazing that concussions are such a big part of the game now, and in all sports, that a foul ball can be that jarring. Now, I never had an issue with foul balls. I've been run over at the plate plenty of times, and kind of you see the stars and black and all that stuff, but looks like Garver's going to be all right.
Well, we don't see that anymore.
Run
the Ray Langford
yeah.
knocking somebody into the first row.
It'll be a 1-2 to Luke Voit. Sanchez takes his lead off of first. See, that's a part of the game that I miss, Al. Not the collisions at home plate, but if you were a defensive catcher, that was part of the things that you could add value to a club, being able to block the plate, save a run for your starting pitcher for your club, and also knowing the runners who were going to take a shot at you and the runners who weren't was all part of the strategy with the plays at the plate. Slider gets Luke Voit. Stanton walked, and that was about it. Odorizzi looked sharp early on.
Here it is, real quick, versus right-handed batters. First 18 games. Look at this. This is from Baseball Savant. They do this kind of stuff. It's called a heat map. Look at the concentration in the first 18 starts of his slider. The darker red is more repeated pitches. Now look at the last 11. It's a little more spread out, so it's kind of dotted all over the place. Not as concentrated, therefore doesn't have the same command. Let's take a look at versus left-handed batters. Same thing on the left against the first 18 starts. Again, concentration in one small area. In this, again, the last 11 starts, it's in a greater area. Therefore, doesn't have a feel, doesn't have the same command. One on the left, he's dotting it. You could see the dark spot. Here it gets a little bit bigger, therefore don't have the same feel. That's the difference between command and control.
All right, so that was from the catcher's perspective.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
So if I'm catching and I see that heat map and it's all spread out, it tells me that this guy's all over the place.
Basically. Yeah. Yeah. And the verse right, especially because that's that down and away window to the right-hander. It just spread out, and that's okay. But identify. So is it a release point? Is it a finish? Also, too, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but his spin rate in these last 11. Oh,
David Cohen is smiling.
David Cohen is going, oh my God, spin rate. So spin rate, curveball. I'll take it back to Sandy Koufax. Used to tell me about my curveball. Don't curve it. Think about spinning it. So very simple. His spin rate is less, about a little over 100 RPMs less. 29 to like 28. All right, I'm not going to get into much more because, you know, he's not spinning as hard. Okay. Which therefore, is it that late little life that you can't explain where you get a check swing or a guy's fool?
Line drive right at Gregorius. Now, the old school question is, how do you get more spin rate? Is it fatigue that brings spin rate down?
Yes, could.
Because I know, you know, pitchers all the time would say, I'm overthrowing, I'm trying to generate velocity, and it actually works against you.
It's a great point. It's a great point. So when you do feel fatigue, and you do, you go through a full season, ideally if you don't miss a start, you're going to have 34 starts. In this day and age, you get an extra day. Maybe they skip a start. However, you know, however they can spread it out for you. It's really, you get 30, 32 starts. That's a nice season, not being hurt. So, yeah, do you feel great all the time? No.
How about Severino tonight gets an extra day? You feel a little better, or is that not going to do a whole lot at this point in the season?
No. Every day is fantastic and especially as I got closer to 40. You know, if I got an extra couple days, because you know the routine for starters, you pitch, you run the next day, your side days the following day, you have 2 days off and you pitch. So, you know, you do that over 3-4 months, you know, your arm's hanging sometimes. So how does that affect there? That was a good example right there. That was a backup slider. You saw the way Gary tried to catch that. So he wasn't trying to do that. Watch this pitch right here. Gary Sanchez looking away, and that ball does some kind of inside front door, not intention.
It's a 2-1. Change up for strike 2.
Upstairs. Again, not where he wants it. Not to start really being too picky on, but I look at Luis Severino. Fantastic. Love him. Who doesn't? Front end, Cy Young stuff. And the metrics say it's hard to identify. Well, that's a strike.
And that's as good of a slider as you can throw right there. You see Severino not happy. It looked like Gary Sanchez having a conversation with Sean Barber behind the plate.
Yeah, it's not where he catches it. This is strike for me. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Ground ball to third. It's going to be foul. I think sometimes the biggest thing for pitchers is trying to create nasty, if that makes any sense. I mean, that slider that he threw that he didn't get called, if you can just in your mind say that's all I have to do, I don't have to add on, doesn't have to be any better. Sometimes as competitors, right, we want to add on, we want to make it a little nastier. See what they come 3-2. Look like a good fastball. Second strikeout for Severino.
Yeah, the sequence of all of that just led to Forsythe just swinging through this. Now it's 97, it's black, so try to hit that. But he basically threw a lot of sliders and changeups leading up to that. No chance.
Love the fastball command, though, Al. I mean, that is true. If you always watch the flight of a baseball, especially the fastball from behind, from the center field camera. and you can see the flight, how true it is to that outside corner. This one here is a jam shot by Jake Cave. Nice play by Gleyber Torres. And a solid 1-2-3 inning for Severino. Early indications are he looks a lot better. Brought to you in part by People's United Bank. We've been on a winning streak for 175 years. People United Bank, member FDIC. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer.
Would he make the big leagues today?
Rod Carew, statue outside of Target Field.
Hall of Famer?
Look back. At last inning, Garver takes that shot off of the face mask. We saw Paul Molitor and the trainer come out and go through some tests, and obviously not real happy with what they came away with, as Astudillo is behind the plate. Well, it'll be 8-9-1 for the Yankees. Greg Bird getting the start at first base tonight. It'll be Gleyber Torres and Andrew McCutchen. You see the batting average for Greg at 195. The Twins playing him to pull the ball on the ground, and you're here in Minnesota for 3 days and you watch Greg Bird kind of go through his routine, you know, the extra work in the cage and the work out on the field, and it hasn't been the kind of year that he has expected it to be. The numbers against Odorizzi are good, couple of home runs, so nice matchup that Aaron Boone liked, and sometimes those positive thoughts will pay off during a game. As this one is driven to right center field. Kepler settling underneath it, one down. MLB at Bat is your #1 app to follow the Yankee postseason push. Get Yankees home screen icons and features such as live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. One down will bring up Gleyber Torres. He was 0 for 3 in last night's game. Well, every game is so important at this point in the season, and you look up at the scoreboard, the Oakland A's are up 10-0 in the 5th on Baltimore. The Yankee lead for that home game in the wild card is 2 coming into tonight. We are definitely at the point where we're scoreboard watching. 2-0 to Torres.
What a year, Oakland. You talk about surprise teams that figured they would be better. I think between the A's and the Braves, kind of surprise clubs.
And if you think about how they constructed that club, and there are the numbers, Yankees up 2 games. I mean, they're under the radar trades that Billy Beane makes out there. There are obviously homegrown prospects, but it's kind of a mix and a match with a very limited payroll that has had an unbelievable year as Torres gets jammed a little bit. Grossman coming in, 2 down. And at this point of the year, you start seeing scouts from all clubs at these games kind of trying to figure out if the Yankees are going to be in this 1-game playoff. You have Oakland A's scouts here trying to pick up some tendencies, maybe. And I met a couple of Yankee scouts here today, Al.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought it was kind of strange that Yankee scouts would be here at this time of the year, you know, with trade deadline and all that stuff is done. And McCutchen hits this ball, pulls it foul. And they said they are here looking at the New York Yankees with the eyes of an opposing scout. Like, are there tendencies? Are there some things that maybe we can pick up on to clean up before you get into a postseason series? Or these might be some of the things other clubs might be trying to exploit. So an interesting way to look at it. Look at your own club from another club's view.
Right. So instead of having all your scouts out scouting the obvious Red Sox and the Astros right now and the A's, have some more eyeballs on your own team.
Yep.
Yep.
McCutchen hit a ground ball to third base, his first at bat. A little cutter, a little tight little slider away from McCutchen. Ball hit down the left field line. Looks like it's going to be foul. You watch McCutchen now as a New York Yankee, and you're trying to look at certain things mechanically with his swing, and it's just such a simple approach, not a whole lot of movement. It gives you a good indication of why he walks so much. The stance slightly open, bat on his shoulder, and then just kind of loads up on that back leg and let it fly. Odorizzi went with that 2-2 slider. We'll see if he comes back with a 3-2. Going away. On the breaking ball that was up, and McCutchen swings right through it. So an easy 1-2-3 for Odorizzi. Both starting pitchers look sharp tonight. We'll be back for the 4th.
Report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more. Some encouraging news on Aroldis Chapman. He threw a side session today in Tampa. He's actually on his way back to New York. Aaron Boone saying that he could perhaps be ready as soon as next week. That would certainly be a lift for the Yankees, getting him back in that bullpen. He was originally placed on the DL on August 22nd with left knee tendonitis. That's something he's pretty much been dealing with all season long, but it looks as though he is moving in the right direction.
Well, good news for the Yankees. Thank you, Meredith. Trying to get to full strength here at the middle of the month. See, we're scoreless here in the bottom of the third. It'll be Astudillo, Kepler, and Adrianza. Ground ball to short. Low throw. Greg Bird's there for it. One down. One down to bring up Max Kepler.
You get Chapman back, give him a chance to get 3 or 4 outings in before the postseason. Very encouraging to see Aaron Judge hit in a hitting group during batting practice today.
Well, when a starting pitcher like Luis Severino goes out to the bullpen, he's warming up, and you're Gary Sanchez, and you're kind of getting a feel for what he has. You get out for a game in between the lines, and you want it to show up, and it looks like it is tonight as an easy ground ball to Bird. 2 quick outs, and I keep going back to fastball command. He's dotting the ball to the corners early on in this game a lot better than we've seen recently.
Yeah, even that setup right there. 2 sliders to the previous batter. Astudillo, and then right there, fastball, perfect location to Kepler, and then the changeup. Even though it was up, you know, you're looking 97 on Severino, and it's 90. Changeup upstairs. You don't want to be up, but that speed variation helps him. There's a middle.
Back up the middle. Didi up with it, so an easy 1, 2, 3 inning for Luis Severino. He only threw 5 pitches. He'll be back for the 4th. Trivia question for the night. Joe Mauer is one of 4 catchers. We take a look at our Audi scoreboard. We're all scoreless here in the 4th. And we'll get back to that question. Here we go. One of the 4 catchers in MLB history to win a batting title. Who are the other 3? I have that answer for you in the bottom half.
One was a teammate of mine.
Who hit a lot of home runs and a batting title. Pudge Rodriguez ever have a batting title? He had some big offensive years. We'll have the answer in the bottom half.
That's a good guess.
Aaron Hicks had a fly ball to second base his first at bat. Big swing and a miss at that split. Joe Mauer, a lot of uncertainty about what his future is going to be. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. The 0-2 from Odorizzi. There's that elevated fastball we were told to look out for.
I guess today, because we saw it earlier, he was asked about possible retirement. Joe Mauer said, I got to think about it. Got to be 100% sure. Interesting.
Ground ball to the right side. Forsythe up with it. Nice play.
We've seen some good defense in this series. We really have. Both teams. Now this is a run it away from him, but again, the shift takes your second baseman kind of out of position, being short right field, closer to first base. But what a play by Logan Forsythe! Not only to get to it, but quickly get up to his feet. Aaron Hicks is one of the faster runners in the American League for sure. Well done.
With one down, I'll bring up Miguel Andujar. He had a ground ball his first at bat, taking all the way. Well, last night he had his third multi-hit game in the last 4. Went through a little lull for a bit, but back on track. And you look at some of the takes from Andujar, and these are things that pitchers and catchers do all the time. He didn't even think about offering at either of those. And if I'm behind the plate, that would be concerning. Good swing there, fouled it off.
Because he's seeing it?
Because he's seeing it.
See, I saw the first one, the first pitch, as I'm taking no matter what. So he's in track the ball home mode. That's a hanger cutter right in the middle of the plate.
That ball hit hard right back up the middle. Cave coming in. Nice running play. And another hard hit ball by Miguel Andujar.
Yeah, I know he's turning back, going back to the dugout, but that is a well-struck ball. Just didn't get down quick enough. Jake Cave getting to watch it. Cutter, middle of the plate, stays on it. Hard line shot.
Well, here's your pick to click. Al. Giancarlo Stanton walked his first at bat. .33 home runs, 86 RBIs. Rockets this ball foul down the right field line. Now there's your approach.
Yeah. He was doing that just about the entire BP and wearing out the upper deck here at Target Field. Watch here. Let it track. Stay on it. Stay on it. Just a bit late. I like it.
Behind in the count, 0-2. The layoff. And the one thing from watching Odorizzi here through the lineup one time, everything pretty much away. So if there's no thought of the inner part of the plate, that makes a hitter, especially like Stanton, dangerous. Rolls over a ball down the third base line. Looks like it's going to roll foul.
Well, I mean, we're seeing that more and more, I think, with a lot of pitchers, Flash. I don't know how you're feeling on it, but it's away, 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 and very occasionally show in. And I think in a lot of cases with some pitchers, yeah, was it Cole Stewart who hit Voit last night?
Voit?
Yeah. But that looked like just a misthrown ball.
It's a 1-2. Misses up. Well, you see Giancarlo Stanton talking to himself a little bit. Even on a take, sometimes you're off balance a little bit. Didn't feel 100% right. Big swing and a miss, and another off-speed pitch that stayed up. And we're starting to see this from Stanton a little bit more, showing the frustration as he's struggling at the plate. Odorizzi looks sharp. We'll be back for the bottom of the fourth. Go back to last night's ball game, and Joe Mauer, the big swing of the bat that really broke it open. A grand slam, pretty much a dead central to Joe Mauer. Big smiles all the way around for him, and he leads off the bottom half of the fourth inning at a base hit, his first at bat. And our Audi scoreboard, we're all scoreless, only one hit. It was by Joe Mauer. You know, when Luis Severino was really locked in the beginning of the year, and, you know, I'm a big body language guy. You know, he'd have energy out on the mound. He was working quick. He was attacking. Well, 3 scoreless in this one, but that was slider, changeup. You know, kind of pitching, not really attacking as much as he was in the first half. And I'm sure that's, you're going through a tough time. You lose a little confidence.
I'm with you on the body language, but sometimes it's hard to facilitate it if you don't feel it. Meaning the fake bravado.
Yeah.
And I was one of those. You know, it was very clear as to how I was feeling. I showed a lot of emotion. Couldn't help it, but I did. And I hear you. He was very demonstrative early part of this year. Big moments, big strikeouts, big inning, something going on. Finish an inning with an explosive fastball or something. Get off the mound and get in the dugout.
Well, you were talking about spin rate before, and, you know, maybe fatigue, and, you know, he threw 209 innings last year. And at some point that could show up. You know, you don't know what's going on or how he feels, but you're looking for reasons why the numbers haven't been great lately.
Yes, because the velocity says, oh, well, there's nothing
still
wrong.
There. Yep.
His velocity is almost identical.
And it goes slider and ground ball. Gregorius lays out for it, takes his time. 1 down. Well, it's time for the answer to our trivia question. I'll remind you of the question. Joe Mauer is one of the 4 catchers in Major League history to win a batting title. Who are the other 3? So you had Mike Piazza.
Probably maybe like a Posey or somebody.
I guess Pudge Rodriguez, and I'm wrong.
Buster
and you're
Posey.
wrong.
Oh, Mike didn't have a.
How did we not know Bubbles Hargrave?
You know, that was the next guy I was thinking.
Yep.
Bubbles. Wait a minute, Piazza batted like, oh, you know what? I think Tony Gwynn got him that year. I think he batted like 350 something.
And couldn't run a lick, right?
No. Oh my God. Yeah, it was not. He wasn't getting any beaten out ground balls
No.
to the 5.5 hole.
First time I ever saw Mike Piazza, he was with the Dodgers, I was with the Padres, as Polanco hits this ball hard, right center field. McCutchen settling underneath it, 2 down. And you had one of those pitch sequences where, you know what, he is so open for a fastball down and away, and we got him. And I called the pitch with 2 strikes, and it was one of those feelings when the ball's halfway there in my mind, I said, yeah, we got him.
Yeah.
And he just dropped the bat head at Jack Murphy Stadium and hit a rocket right center field for, I think, a 2-run home run. I just said, okay, that's a little different. He could wait so long, drop the bat head, do some damage.
Yeah, and go the other way. So 1997, Piazza 362, Tony Gwynn, the late Tony Gwynn, 372. With that, drop at 362 and you're second. Larry Walker was in on the mix. Piazza was third. Larry Walker 366 that year.
And slider misses away to Rosario. Watching Tony Gwynn take batting practice for a 1.5 years was a treat. Just right between short and third, the 5.5 hole he would call it. Had it on his spikes. This one driven to center field. Aaron Hicks right in front of the warning track. So another easy 1-2-3 inning for Severino. He has thrown 4 shutout. We'll be back for the 5th. And won, and they are way up in this one. And the lead is down to 2 games.
It's a legit team, really is. Certainly what the bullpen has emerged, and Chris Davis, 40 homers. Jed Lowry's playing like he's 25 years old.
They are a dangerous team in a 1-game playoff. And I'm saying they're not going to be dangerous if they advance in a 5 or 7 game, but the rotation doesn't intimidate you. It's the bullpen. And if you have a 1-game play-in, it could be a bullpen game.
For sure with the A's. I mean, I guess all teams are on that, you know, ready to call down to the bullpen.
The Yankees have a tougher schedule, opponents-wise, coming up. Well, the Yankees trying to take this one here in Minnesota and then have an off day tomorrow. And we look forward to the last homestand. Aaron Boone trying to get healthy, trying to get Aaron Judge back, trying to get Chapman back, and trying to get his team to play a little better baseball and get hot at the right time. Gregorius 0 for 1. He popped up his last at bat. This right off the end of the bat. Odorizzi up front with it from his knees, and another nice defensive play.
Wow. This is a wild play. Changeup off the end of the bat of Didi. Watch this. He does a little slide, comes up quickly. That was even just as impressive as getting to the ball, but it's quickly realizing Didi's going to scoot down there. No hesitation. Wow.
Wow.
Watch this. Hand. Not into the glove, and almost an all-in-one motion, a little pop-up. Great play.
Not to get on pitchers, Al.
But they're not athletes. Go ahead.
But there are times when you see pitchers who, if they're not in a wind-up or a motion, they have a tough time throwing the ball where they want to.
Oh yeah.
And what a play that was right there from his knees.
Well, I mean, you could go to Johnny Lester in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, not being able to throw it to a base, which, you know, some guys get the yips.
Bring up Sanchez, who grounded out his first at bat. Twins playing him to pull in the infield.
Yeah, I'm going to figure that Jake Odorizzi was probably a shortstop in high school. Over there in Highland High School in Illinois when he was the first-round draft pick by the Brewers back in 2008. What do you think?
I think he probably pitched, and then the next day he was playing shortstop, hitting third, right?
Yeah.
Just like you in Tom's River High School. Is
No
that what
chance,
it was?
man. I was terrible, even in high school. Central Regional High School in Berkeley Township, New Jersey. I got to give them a little shout out. For some reason, Todd Frazier thought I was always trying to claim Tom's River. I was born in Tom's River.
2-1. That misses up. Sanchez in the driver's seat here, 3-1.
Well, this will say a lot right here with Jake Odorizzi. There's a history. 14 games start against the New York Yankees in Odorizzi's career. Does he give him a heater?
Looked like he went with that split change up, and that's a walk for Sanchez.
I mean, that sequence is a generalization on pitchers like Odorizzi who don't throw 95 or better. You know, you're going to pitch backwards, and that split finger changeup looked like he got around a little bit. That's what they do. Create some doubt with the pitch sequence.
Yeah, you watch Odorizzi pitch, and he's just so methodical, right? Doesn't seem to overdo it. Just kind of take a little off, add a little on. Try to get a hitter to expand out of the strike zone. Luke Voit will not do it on that first pitch. Voit struck out his first at bat. Yankees still looking for their first hit. Only have a couple of walks. There goes Sanchez. The throw. And he's in there. A stolen base for Gary Sanchez. The element of surprise, a big part of it.
You think it was a hit and run? Had to have been. Unless he's got something on him. This is definitely first stolen base this year. I got to check if he's got. Yeah, it's a hit and run.
You know what?
Jeez.
I don't know if it was a hit and run because you're taught to peek in so much earlier than Sanchez peeked in. It was like halfway down the line, an awkward slide.
Wow, good thing he didn't get hurt. I'm saying that was a hit and run.
Looks like he's going to be all right, taking his lead off the second.
Or a missed sign.
Yeah. Whatever the case, the Yankees have a runner in scoring position, trying to get on the board here in the fifth. 4th career steal for Gary Sanchez, the 1st this year. Voit hammers this to left field. Grossman is there and he makes the play. A hard hit ball for Luke Voit, nothing to show for it.
The defense has been stellar in these 3 games here in Minnesota. Both teams. Robbie Grossman, nice play. They had a lot of topspin. And on it, track it right into the glove. Outfielders, infielders, both sides. Nice plays.
2 down will bring up Greg Bird. Good numbers against Odorizzi coming in at a good swing his first at bat, hitting a ball to right field. Hall of Famer Paul Molitor looking on. Things have not gone the way he thought his club would, type of the year they thought they would have. Byron Buxton has been disappointing. Sano has been hurt. We'll try to regroup in the offseason, come back again next year. Swing and a miss by Bird. Well, when I watch Greg Bird, he stands in the batter's box. It seems like he's just trying to get comfortable. You know, almost doesn't look real comfortable. Like, obviously confidence down a little bit, but little movements going on, trying to get some rhythm. It'll be a 1-2 from Odorizzi. Nice play by Astudillo.
Looks like he's feeling his way.
Yeah.
Like you're feeling the swing. You know, you stay on it, go the other way, make contact, hit the ball hard, as opposed to just swing it.
There are hitters who are not mechanical. Andujar clearly is not a mechanics guy. I was a mechanics guy. When I walked into the box, it was, all right, get my weight on my back leg, you know, get a little movement with your hands. And when you're thinking all of those things and not what the pitcher is trying to do, sometimes you get caught in between. The 2-2. Fastball up in the zone. Another strikeout for Odorizzi. He has 4 on the night. So a wasted opportunity here in the 5th inning. We got a good one. We'll be back for the bottom half. Blue Jays, and yes, we'll have complete pre and post game coverage around the telecast on Pix 11. Then on Saturday, the Yanks are back on Yes with full game coverage starting at 3:30 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. There are the pitching matchups Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll have Tanaka, Sabathia, and Lynn against Estrada, Reed, Foley, and Panone. Last homestand of the year for the New York Yankees coming up. And we're all scoreless on our GMC scoreboard. It'll be Robbie Grossman, Forsythe, and Jake Cave here in the 5th against Severino. There's not a whole lot of history with Severino against the Twins. We talked about that wild card game as this ball is hit to center field. An easy play for Aaron Hicks. That game that did not go well for Severino. He's only had one other career start against the Twins, and that was only 3 innings. Gave up 3 runs in that one. But looking sharp tonight. Come down to bring up Logan Forsythe.
That's the get me over slider there. Close. Kind of has a sweep and break. We're watching Sean Barber behind home plate, the umpire. Not really expanding that side of the plate. That ball looks in.
Yeah, starting to hear some complaining about the calls behind the plate from Sean Barber. There's that backup slider again, and I was just going to ask you. I talk about hitting mechanics, and I'm sure there are pitchers out there who think about mechanics.
There it is, right there. Got a good changeup tonight. It's been kind of his go-to pitch. So if you overthrow it, that's the backup slider. So there's kind of a feel, and then that one that he's just missing a little off the plate. Sometimes you get around it.
Yeah.
Your hand is off center. Slider's really a power breaking ball. Look at the flight of that, 99.
Good fastball. 3rd strikeout for Severino. We're going to look at our fast pitch speed analytics, which is sponsored by Fios by Verizon. 99 miles an hour on that last fastball.
Just watch the explosion at the end. And now again, the sequence, especially to Logan Forsythe, been very good. Couple fastballs, and it's change, slider, change, fastball on his first strikeout. And then there was all off speed, either slider or changeup until that heater.
There's that changeup again.
So his go-to tonight for the 2 secondary pitches that he throws, and he throws mostly sliders, has been his changeup. See, I like that.
I just thinking the same thing.
We just don't see it enough. And you see where Gary Sanchez, he wants it kind of upstairs here. And Luis Severino hooked it. But move the feet. Make guys feel uncomfortable. Let hitters know you're out there. He's throwing 98 miles an hour. You don't have to hit him. I'm not talking about that. Just I'm not uncomfortable at bat.
It was a 1-2, go slider again, and another strikeout for Luis Severino, who looks awfully sharp through 5 innings. That was the 4th strikeout of the game for Severino. We got a pitcher's duel. We'll be back for the 6th. To you by T-Mobile, and the Yankees have a couple of rookies that they didn't even know if they were going to be on this team or at what point this year. Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar have been such a big piece of the Yankees' success this year. And the conversation will continue in the offseason about who is the rookie of the year for the American League, and both of those guys will be strong candidates. As Torres leads off here, the top of the sixth, and there are the numbers. Andujar, Torres, and Ohtani.
Well, it's Andujar.
It's Andujar right now, right? Can this guy have a good couple of weeks here at the end? Maybe as Torres hits this ball well. Cave going back on the track, makes the play. Another twin outfielder covering a lot of ground.
There is a lot of ground to cover here.
Sure.
You see Jake Cave cracking it. 411. Right to the wall.
Looked like that ball maybe died a little bit out there. Got a little breeze going tonight. You don't know which way it's swirling. Back to the top of the lineup, Andrew McCutchen.
You guys were talking about the two rookies for the Yankees this year that have been phenomenal. The cool thing about Andujar and Torres, they were friends in the minors. They remain friends here at the major league level, and they've actually told me that they really push each other when they're out there, whether it's early taking ground balls or it's on the offensive side. They really drive each other to get better, and that's been something that has been helpful. Also, I spoke to Miguel Andujar about whether or not he feels as though he's really making a case for himself to be the rookie of the year in the American League, and he said, you know what, that's not something I'm even thinking about right now. There are bigger goals that we're trying to accomplish as a team. It's not an individual thing. Hey, it would be nice if it did happen, but that's not on my mind at the present moment.
Well, good for him. That's the one thing I think you can say about all of these young Yankees. They all say the right thing. Team first, individual accomplishment second. The 95th pitch for Odorizzi. A high breaking ball and a high strike. The ball hit to left field. Grossman with plenty of room, 2 down. Well, these are kind of frustrating at bats for the Yankees. You think of Odorizzi as not an overpowering guy, very methodical out on the mound, just kind of a little bit here, a little more there. Yankees really haven't been able to get anything going.
Taking advantage of a big ballpark, some great defense. I'm with you. I thought you were going to say because of the no-hitter so far. I know it's only well, no, it's 2 outs into 6.
And there are nights where major league hitters will face a guy who's just dominant. Jacob deGrom comes to mind, right? When he's right, you are going to walk back to the dugout saying, I got beat tonight. But when you face a guy like Odorizzi, you don't feel that way because he pitches. He adds a little. 93 miles an hour there, then he's going to show you a split at 85, a little cutter, and you feel like you should be productive against him.
Yeah. Well, I always thought that as you're saying that, the Greg Maddux or now a Kyle Hendricks with the Chicago Cubs, you know, he's right around 90, change speeds, you don't know what he's going to throw.
A very comfortable 0 for 3 or an 0 for 4. Well, this will be the 100th pitch coming up for Odorizzi.
So that's a perfect example of what you just said, Flash. In this at bat to Aaron Hicks, slider, fastball strike, high fastball ball, comes back with a 2-1 changeup. So there's a lot of doubt. Probably one of his better average fastball velocities of the year because I got him at 91 miles an hour, or Brooks Baseball does in his starts this year. And we've seen a lot of 94s.
Yeah, tick above that tonight. Looking to be a fastball away to Aaron Hicks. Fouled off.
I mean, that was up to 95. It's a defensive swing.
Well, there's action in that Minnesota Twins bullpen as the pitch count over 100 for Odorizzi.
Amazing. I say amazing. He's got a no-hitter. He's got 4 strikeouts. And he's over 100 pitches. And we're not through the 6th.
Amazing because he nibbles a little bit, a lot of deep counts. As Hicks drives this to right center field. Cave right in front of the wall. Comes up with it, so Odorizzi still has not given up a hit. An easy 1-2-3 inning. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th.
Got a double play, so he's faced the minimum, only 1 hit. His slider's been good. I really like his changeup. He's dotted a lot of fastballs on the outside part of the plate. Good, hard slider changeup combination. What a job Luis Severino's doing so far in only 56 pitches. 57.
Pitch count's in great shape. And he'll face the bottom of the lineup. It'll be Astudillo, Kepler, and Adrianza. First pitch strike. Studio guy who likes to get it done early in counts. Doesn't strike out a lot, doesn't walk a lot. Slider pulled foul. All right, Al, now this is a perfect example of what we were talking about. He throws a real good 0-1 slider. Right? You'd expect him to come back with another one with 2 strikes. You don't have to make it any nastier, right?
No.
Same mechanics, same location.
There you go.
Same pitch. Good 0-2 slider there.
A little further, yeah. Are you throwing it again? I am. This is a free swinger. Don't know much about a studio. Something on the outside part of the plate. That's, yeah, listen, it's 0-2. You're thinking don't hang it.
I'm thinking an elevated fastball to see if he'd go out of the zone a little bit and then maybe a slider away. Going for another slider, another good one. Gregorius up with the throw. Nice play, 1 down. Take those sliders any day.
But I love, you know, this, listen, this is exactly, high fastball would have been great, 98 upstairs. If he threw it up here and he doesn't swing, guess what? You go down and away. Chose another slider and free swinging hitter. So he's just trying to put the barrel on the ball. Nice play by Didi.
Didi makes the hard plays look really easy, doesn't he? I mean, that's a hard play there, throwing across his body. I know he had time, but made it look a lot easier than it really is. One down and bring up Max Kepler. I think sometimes, I know I do, I take for granted Didi Gregorius in the field.
Totally.
Just feel like he's going to make every play, and that's what he does, and no big deal.
Smooth. He really is. Steady.
It's a 2-0 to Kepler. That fastball misses. Well, you'd have to assume here with the 18 home runs that Kepler has a green light 3-0.
You'd let him go. Some guys don't like swinging 3-0.
I didn't like swinging 3-0. No.
So you were a short take.
Because I tried to do it when I was younger, and I would swing at it wherever it was. I wasn't disciplined enough to say, I got to look middle in. Got myself out a lot. That ball's hit hard the other way. 1 out base hit for Kepler. It's all about hitting counts as opposed to pitching counts. Pitchers getting ahead.
We've seen a few guys on this Twins lineup these last 2 games, 3 games, kind of going the other way. Robbie Grossman, I think, did it yesterday. We saw Jake Cave.
Kepler, not much of a speed guy. He does has 3 stolen bases. Have been thrown out 5 times. Bring up Adrianza, playing third base tonight. Only 67 pitches for Severino with 1 out in the 6th. This ball hit hard down the right field line. It'll be extra bases for Adrianza. Kepler coming around third. They're going to wave him home. The relay to Torres can't come up with it. 1-0 Twins.
Severino left a changeup up middle of the plate. Adrianza got a good look at it. 16th double on the year. Let's see what happens here with McCutchen. Kepler scoring from first. He just did not hesitate. See Kepler right off the bat picks up third base coach. There was no hesitation. Even with Glaber, I think Flash bobble it there, he would have been safe.
He would have been safe. An aggressive call by Gene Glenn, the third base coach, who was waving him the whole way. Adrianza now in scoring position. Joe Mauer up at the plate, and one of the best in the league with runners in scoring position. Batting average right around 390. He had a single in the first. Well, this was a situation in Oakland where Severino and Sanchez had a little trouble with pitch sequences with a runner at second base. See if they're on the same page here. It's Gary Sanchez going through his sequence. Foul ball. There's so many different sequences, right? I mean, you know, number of outs +1 is the hot sign. Sign after 2. All these different things. That
odd even counts. Last sign. First signs. Yeah, I mean, change it. You can change it every inning.
Yep. That was one of my favorites. Number of outs +1 will be
the hot sign. So if nobody out, obviously the first sign. 1 out, second sign. 2 outs, third sign.
Simple.
Looks like a lot going on with all those signs going down there, but when you know what you're looking for, pretty simple. It's a good swing at a fastball that was up middle. Good thing he had through that 98, a little mislocation there. Comes a 1-2. Slider misses away.
That's the slider. It's where you just expand with it, and it's really about rushing out your delivery. You're not staying in there long enough to allow your arm to get in position and then finish. And it's a millisecond off to try to find that same window to where you know that down and in break with a left-handed batter is where you want it to finish.
Fouled off. Well, there are all these little keys that catchers will try to remind pitchers about, you know, like with a slider. Hey, think about getting it out in front a little bit more. You make a little gesture with your hand, or to your point, you're flying open a little bit, stay a little bit closed. Comes a 2-2. That ball hit the other way. That's going to be a base hit. Stanton comes up with it. Adrianza's going to hold it third. First and third, 1 down.
We're seeing a little mislocation again. He wants outside corner, middle of the plate. Great hitter. Joe Mauer stays on it. Seen that for years. Peppered wide open defense there with Didi playing right behind second base. And that, historically, at least when I remember playing against Joe Mauer, that was his sweet swing.
That's exactly what he wanted to do. Other way, and if you threw anything soft in, it would speed him up.
Yeah, I never saw him as a pull hitter.
Well, things have been pretty easy for Severino through 5. Now it's getting a little more difficult here in the 6th. And this has probably been the most consistent hitter in this series for the Twins, Polanco.
Three for 5 last night, Polanco was.
It's David Robertson in the Yankee pen. If you're Severino and Sanchez, you got to be thinking double play ground ball.
So now the first one he overthrew, he was kind of out again, body out front. You try to catch up. That was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Trying to go backdoor slider, just missed down.
You need a big pitch right here. That changeup down and away in a fastball count could get a rollover double play. Went fastball, challenged him, fouled it off. Kind of digging that too, though, Al. You know, it's 2-0, but I'm gonna challenge you with my best fastball and see what you can do. You got away with it.
He does throw 98.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I love the slider changeup. Absolutely, you got to compliment it. That should be a throwover. We've seen Polanco just wear out left field and the left side of the infield. Come in hard here, maybe.
Squared around a squeeze bunt or a safety squeeze. Interesting. The guy who's swinging the bat as well as he has been this series. Well, you'd think this would be a big pitch in this ball game as you see where the Yankees are set up defensively. Polanco ahead in the count 3-1. He's had a good series. Looks like they might go off speed. 3-1 slider and a big swing and a miss.
So he's trying. He wants to go backdoor. You see where Gary Sanchez set up, and that ball actually in. I don't mind it. I know it's a big break. That power breaking ball in, especially what Jorge Polanco has shown in the 2 previous games of really kind of establishing that left center approach.
You saw Gary Sanchez go out through some signs with the first and third defense, whether Aaron Boone wants to throw through, throw to third. See if Joe Mauer is on the move here with a full count. He's not running. That's pulled foul.
Same pitch. I actually like that. It's got like a little frisbee side to side movement, especially the lefty. Watch again. His slider go-to is more on a backdoor break to it. The ball in, set up for me, fastball inside.
Yeah, but you see where Sanchez was setting up there? He's setting up away and it ends up in, and it kind of goes back to that chart that you showed early. Sliders kind of all over the place, sprayed. Check on Mauer again. Sanchez looking into that dugout. Signs for the running game, throw over, slide step, pitch out. Don't think Mauer is going to be running. He's not. Ball fouled off. 100 miles an hour on the fastball. Adrian's off a third, Mauer off a first. It'll be a 3-2 to Polanco, and looked up and in, gets by Sanchez. And they're going to say that Polanco swung. A big strikeout for Severino. That's third base umpire James Hoy.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was just defensive because it was up near his face, but he did make an effort to swing. Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. Polanco backdoor slider ball. Back a slider middle, maybe down, 99 away. Do a safety squeeze, changeup, and then that slider again, wanting to go away but in. I think it's effective. Fastball beat him again. I think that was the 100-mile-an-hour, and it looked like he was trying to get out of the way, but he'd made an effort to swing. That'll be it.
Manager Aaron Boone making the pitching change. It doesn't look like Luis Severino is real happy about that, and a lot of encouraging signs for him tonight. Fastball command was better, breaking ball was better. 5 strikeouts for him. Standing in that Yankee dugout watching David Robertson go through his warm-ups, but Al, he threw 83 pitches, gave up 1 run, and you have a runner at first and third who are your responsibility, and you're the ace of the staff. Yeah. How would you feel about this?
Well, you could see how Luis Severino's reacted to Aaron Boone. He wanted to stay in the game, obviously hot. Listen, I'd want to stay in the game too. He's pitched a good game. I know this this inning with the leadoff out and then the single and the double. I like that. I like the fact that he wants to stay in there and he should fight and he should argue his point.
Well, Joe Mauer off of second, Adrian's off of third, David Robertson in. Rosario first pitch swinging. Now starting pitchers would always feel like, you know, there's the numbers for Robertson. Those are my base runners out on the bases, and I want to take care of it as opposed to handing it off to the bullpen.
Yeah, I think he's behaving like the Cy Young type pitcher that he was for the first half of the season. He should be mad. He wants to stay in the game. But I also know with Aaron Boone, you know, that he hasn't been good. His last 11 starts, an ERA close to 7. His last start in Oakland, very fresh. He didn't get out of the 3rd inning. So I understand where he's coming from. He gave up single, double, single. Yeah, you got a punch out there on a pitch that was over the head of Polanco.
Robertson quickly out ahead in the count, 0-2. Trying to strand a few runners out there. His fastball down and misses. Overall, a lot to like about Luis Severino's outing tonight.
Absolutely. Listen, he was cruising up until this inning. Other than the leadoff single in the game to Mauer, got a double play. He faced the minimum coming into this inning. So there's an awful lot to like.
One, two. Pulled foul.
Curveball, middle end. You can't do anything with that other than that right there, what Rosario did. Breaking ball coming into the left-handed batter from the right-handed pitcher.
You see all the players looking in the stands. I think that foul ball might have caught a piece of somebody. Do it again, another 1-2 delivery, a little slide step right back to David Robertson. Great job by him stranding a couple of runners. Luis Severino's night is over, but the Twins get on the board. They lead 1-0.
No hitter through 6 innings. And listen, he's a guy that changes speeds. There's a history here. 14 starts, slider. He's thrown a lot of cutters, changeups. You know, there's really The mystery, what he's done for me, is that he's been very unpredictable. And a guy who's averaged 91 miles an hour coming into tonight's start. We've seen a lot of 94-mile-an-hour fastballs. There's his line. I don't know if Paul Molitor is going to keep him in because of that 102 pitch count. He had somebody warming up last inning. We'll see.
Well, it'll be 3-4-5 for the Yankees. And Duhar, Stanton, and Gregorius on our Cadillac scoreboard. 1-0 Twins. Andujar at a rocket to center field, his last at bat. He takes a slow breaking ball for strike one. Double barrel, Curtis and Vasquez. We just got word that catcher Mitch Garver was removed for precautionary reasons. They didn't see any signs of a concussion, so good news for him. Right back to Odorizzi. One down. I'll bring up Giancarlo Stanton. He's 0 for 1. He walked in the second, struck out in the fourth. I guess this is a tough decision for Paul Molitor, right?
Not for me.
Season high in pitches is 112 for Odorizzi.
Well, I shouldn't say that so flippantly. You know, I'm also coming from an era where, you know, I threw 130, 140, and it was not typical or every start, but I did a lot.
The ball skied to the right side of the infield. It'll be Forsythe. 2 quick outs.
Yeah, the quandary will be, well, let's see how this plays out. But if that number is somewhat reasonable at the end of this inning and you let him go out for the 8th.
Well, here's my thinking, and obviously it doesn't mean a whole lot, but the Twins aren't going anywhere the rest of the way, right?
Right.
It's coming down to the end of the season for Odorizzi, so I'm sure he's thinking, there's no way I'm coming out of this game.
Will you? I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
2 down will bring up Didi Gregorius. There's the first pitch strike. Didi pop up and a ground out. The 0-1.
And also, too, I think to add to this pitch count conversation, which now all of a sudden the bells go off 100 pitches.
Right,
Why?
right.
I mean, I know that's a 30-minute show, so we can't do that. But this is a guy that doesn't overthrow. He is a pitcher, changing speeds.
Ball hit the other way. Grossman goes back. The track right in front of the wall. Jake Odorizzi has not given up a hit through 7. We'll be back. talking with Meredith Marakovitz as well. It's time for the game summary, which is brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. Not a whole lot going on there. 1 run for the Twins, 4 hits. See, the Yankees do not have a hit yet. Severino much better, but Jake Odorizzi, 7 innings, no hits, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. See the RBI double for Adrianza, and Joe Mauer is 2 for 3. David Robertson back out there in our Cadillac scoreboard, 1-0 Twins. Wow, like that was a pretty good pitch. Sean Barber, questionable calls behind the plate tonight. As Robbie Grossman is up there, he's 0 for 2 with a line out and a fly out. Said that he went. Really good job by Robertson to finish off that 6th inning. Couple of runners in scoring position, got the easy ground ball. Robertson should be fresh. He's had some time off. He threw on Saturday in Seattle. One-two, breaking ball misses. Grossman's been a hot hitter since August 5th. The batting average right around .330. Trying to finish up strong. Checks his swing. Third base umpire James Hoy said he went. First strikeout for Robertson.
Yeah. Got a big dose of curveballs from David Robertson. Yes, he did. Committed. Barrel goes out front. Wrist break. That's an easy one.
With 1 down, will bring up Logan Forsythe. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts against Severino. Nobody up for the Twins as of now.
They'll do double barrel, but Curtis and Vasquez, I guarantee it's a if he gives up a hit, he's out scenario.
Sanchez, Voit, and Greg Bird due up in the 8th. The 0-2 from Robertson. Another breaking ball misses down. Al, you won big games, World Series games, thrown a no-hitter. Where's the no-hitter rank?
Well, for team-wise, there's no doubt the World Championships are special.
Ground ball to Torres, easy play, 2 down.
But I'll hold that.
Want free Yankee tickets? Spend $150 or more at the Harmon store at 527 Madison Avenue and receive 2 tickets for free. So go pick up a JBL speaker or headphones today while supplies last.
The reason why it was special, Flash, is because it doesn't happen a lot. And while I did some cool things and some World Series moments, no doubt about it, that trumps it. The no-hitter, the year I threw it, there were 2 others, Hideo Nomo and Dwight Gooden with the Yankees.
That's right.
So,
I have never been on the receiving end of catching a no-hitter. As you see, Rogers starting to get loose. And it was something that I craved for, and it never happened. Had a few guys get close. So not only special for a pitcher, but for a catcher as well.
Charles Johnson caught the no-hitter, the Marlins. How close was it? Yours?
At 7th or 8th inning.
Legit.
Start thinking about it. Start thinking about every sign you put down. Is this the right pitch?
Well, mine was always the 7th. You know, they do the no-hit alert now in the 5th inning. To me, if you go through a well-pitched game, if it's a perfect game, you're going to face 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. You got to walk. Now you're talking 2, 3, 4. If you have 2 walks, it's 3, 4, 5. You kind of get what I'm going. So through the 7th is the big one, as Odorizzi just did in this last inning, 4, 5, 6.
Hot shot's a fair ball. Jake Cave, he's going to try to go for 2. McCutchen up with the throw, offline a little bit, a 2-out double.
He tried to go fastball away. You see where Sanchez was setting up. Got a little too much middle of the plate for Jake Cave. Stayed fair. I thought McCutchen did a nice job getting that off the carom, but Jake Cave just a little too fast. Getting in there easily for his 13th double on the year.
Al, I can't believe I forgot this, but you know, our good buddy Tyler Kepner just reminded me the first game that I ever caught in the big leagues, I caught a no-hitter that we lost. Matt Young threw 8 innings of no-hit baseball and we lost.
You caught it?
Caught it. First game in the big leagues. So you don't think of it as a no-hitter because you lost. You couldn't celebrate it. 2 down, it'll bring up Astudio.
Wait, so no-hitter somewhere error scored.
So in 1992, the Cleveland Indians up-and-coming team, Kenny Lofton walks, steals second, steals third, ground ball, 1-0. Next at bat, walks, steals second, steals third, 2-0. I don't know what the final was, but it was that type of a situation. Astudio right back up the middle. Torres can't knock it down, and the Twins are going to add on another run with 2 outs. 2-out double, 2-out base hit by Astudio. Twins lead 2-0.
A huge tack-on run late in this game. Astudio's seen a lot of those sliders from Severino early in the game. Good pitch, good location, just perfectly placed right up the middle. Big run in this game for the Twins.
And you can see the disappointment from Torres. He's out of his reach, but you're just trying to knock it down to save a run. Good effort. 2 down, bring up Max Kepler. Hit a base hit his last time against Severino. Getting back to that game, Al, it's one of those your major league debuts. I got some good news and I got some bad news. Hit a double my first at bat. That's the good news. Good news is I caught a no-hitter, right? So you're thinking, what a debut. Bad news is we lost, and there were 6 stolen bases against me in my first big league game. And I was known as got to the big leagues because I could throw a little bit. Crazy start. Kepler drives this to left center field. It's hit well. Hicks reaches out, cannot make the play. Astudio around third. He's being waved home. Well, the Twins doing a good job with the 2-out hitting here in the 7th. A great bid by Aaron Hicks comes up a little short. The Twins lead 3-0.
Well, you said it, the 2 outs. That's a hanging curveball out over the plate. Max Kepler, the RBI leader for this Twins team at 49 RBIs. Great effort by Aaron Hicks. It looked like it, let's see, popped it out of the glove, just off the end of the glove. Astudio scoring all the way from first.
Another runner in scoring position with 2 outs. The number 9 hitter Adrianza, who had that double against Luis Severino, a changeup that kind of sat in the middle of the plate. David Robertson, a couple of quick outs here in the 7th. 2-out double by Cave, base hit by Astudio, 2-out double by Kepler. Twins up 3-0. Jonathan Holder. There's the battery, and it didn't start out that way. Mitch Garver started this game. Astudillo goes in. Two guys have been on the same page. Now, I don't know if I'd be sitting next to the pitcher who's throwing a no-hitter and talking to him.
Unless you were doing it the whole night. Yeah. I know it's odd. It is. Everybody start you got the plague or something. Everybody starts getting away from you. They don't want to talk to you. Yeah, unless he was doing this the whole game, I'm with you.
Yeah, they don't look too stressed out.
Yeah, he's.
Mound visit for Gary Sanchez. Wanted to talk it over a little bit with David Robertson. Well, it is a final in Baltimore, 10-0 A's. Boston Red Sox won 1-0 over Toronto Blue Jays. Comes the 2-2. Down in the dirt, gets away from Sanchez. Kepler will stay put.
He doesn't get beat up back there. A lot of breaking balls tonight in the dirt. Some nice jobs. Got out there, was able to keep it somewhat in front of him.
Love how he's flipping that glove now. He's flipping it down, and the upper body kind of follows after instead of backhanding it and stabbing at it. Big pitch here to Adrianza as Joe Mauer's waiting on deck. 3-2 comes right at him. Fouls it off. .30 pitches for David Robertson. .25 of those pitches this inning.
Yeah, it's been the battles. You know, you get 2 quick outs. Robertson does with the strikeout of Grossman and Forsythe ground out. Cave double. Studio, they seeing eye, I guess seeing eye, base hit up the middle. Some innings feel and just easy, smooth, and then every pitch you grinding it out.
Good pitch by David Robertson to end this 7th inning, but the Twins do their damage all with 2 outs.
Great defense, and the Twins have had that for Jake Odorizzi. Heart smash. How about that play? Adrianza across the diamond from McCutcheon. Look at Logan's foresight. Playing out of position a little bit because of the shift. Goes a long way. The pitcher, Odorizzi, on his knees. And then here, a bolt off of Voit. Robbie Grossman goes a long way. Some really, really good defense behind Jake Odorizzi tonight.
Hyundai scoreboard, 3-0 Twins. 7 hits for the Twins. Yankees looking for their first. Odorizzi back out there to work. Sanchez 0 for 1. He walked in the 5th against Odorizzi. This is what time in the game you start feeling it a little bit if you're Odorizzi, the pitcher. Even the defenders out there trying to make great plays, just like Al showed you they have done all night. And our studio behind the plate start thinking about every pitch. 1-1 to Sanchez. That misses off the plate.
Now the crowd getting into it. This is a ball off the plate. So on that cutter slider, just watch the catcher's glove pulling it back.
Two 2-1. Seen a lot of those high off-speed pitches called strikes tonight.
That's been the zone for Sean Barber. That ball's up.
.113 pitches, so now has thrown a season high. But I don't recall too many of these pitches being high stress, high leverage. He's just been kind of cruising. 2-2. Swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for Odorizzi.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well, Flash. You got Odorizzi, who's really just been doing that. Great split changeup. He threw 3 of them, 4 of them in this at bat. To Sanchez, he threw 1 slider. Smooth delivery, nothing herky-jerky, not trying to overthrow.
With 1 down, I'll bring up Luke Voit, who's DHing tonight. Hit a ball hard to left field his last time. Grossman made a nice play. That was a first pitch strike. Oh for 2, a strikeout and a line out. Look at Odorizzi, his last start, only 4 2/3. Gave up 5 earned runs against the Houston Astros. He's been locked in tonight. 2-1 to Voit. That misses badly up. Last 2 pitches kind of all over the place.
Overthrowing the slider. Call it slider cutter. 3 in a row.
What we've seen tonight, you would not expect Odorizzi to challenge Voit here with a fastball. 3-1, goes a little slider, a check swing. First base umpire says he did not go. That's Quinn Walcott. A 1-out walk for Voit.
Well, everybody involved. You mentioned about the fielders and the catcher, the umpires. Let's see here, the angle on this check swing. That's pretty close. Hands were out in front, but I don't think he broke his wrist. This would be a good shot here. Ooh, could have gone either way.
With 1 down, will bring up Greg Bird. He's 0 for 2, fly ball and a strikeout.
Twins played the defense in the infield for Bird to pull. It's this ball hard to left center field, and that's going to find the gap. It'll be a double for Bird. Here comes Voit around third. He's going to try to score. The throw is not going to be in time. RBI double for Greg Bird. The no-hit bid is done, and the Yankees get on the board. 3-1 Twins. Now the crowd here at Target Field showing their appreciation for Jake Odorizzi. Paul Molitor is going to make that stroll to the mound to make the pitching change. Jake Odorizzi will take a look at that last pitch.
Yeah, first pitch fastball away middle. Could see Jake certainly not to his liking, but for the Yankees and Greg Bird splitting the upright left center field. Middle, got a heater. The Yankee hitters were taking that inning, and I don't know whether he just kind of fell asleep on it thinking that they were going to take another one. Sanchez took the first pitch as well as Luke Voit. And that right there ruined it for Jake Odorizzi.
Well, Paul Molitor calling on the lefty Taylor Rogers. He gets ahead of Gleyber Torres. First pitch strike. There's the line. 7 1/3, only the 1 hit, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 120 pitches. Torres has to skip out of the way. So we saw that last pitch, Al. That's going to be the one that Astudillo's going to be thinking about. Odorizzi's going to be thinking about. There are the numbers for Rogers having a very good year. First pitch fastball just out over the plate, and Greg Bird got him.
And I don't know what you would be thinking, but Sanchez took a strike. Luke Voit took a strike. Took the first pitch. And they were both strikes. So maybe he thought he had a freebie. Yeah, he'll be thinking about that and going over it and over it.
An outstanding start for him, and now the Yankees thinking about trying to rally and win this game. We already talked about the Oakland A's have 1. Boston Red Sox have 1. Swing and a miss by Torres. Good break the ball from Rogers.
Yeah, Yankee hitters saw Taylor Rogers last night. He threw 2 innings in the bullpen game. Well, that'll be it.
Paul Molitor is going to be mixing and matching the rest of the way. As Rogers got Gleyber Torres to swing and miss at a breaking ball, Molitor is going to go to the bullpen. It'll be Andrew McCutchen when we get back. When the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. It's Yankees t-shirt day, and the first 10,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankee t-shirt courtesy of Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops are called Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Jake Odorizzi taking it all in. Paul Molitor making the call to the bullpen. It would be Trevor Hildenberger. We saw him in last night's game. A little different submarine style delivery. Had the Yankees off balance. Face Andrew McCutchen.
Below the speed limit, Trevor Hildenberger was.
And he was effective last night. Had a lot of off balance swings from the Yankee hitters. Throws across his body, submarine style, slinging it. McCutchen heading to count 2-0.
I like the different looks, but a guy like this has to get ahead, has to throw strikes. He doesn't throw hard enough. His primary pitches is his changeup and his slider.
.20 poured right in there.
You don't see this a whole lot with relievers, you know, mostly big guys throwing 95 or better. Very deceptive.
I guess you think of Darren O'Day, right? When he was healthy. Slider for strike 2. Well, the attendance for this final game of the series, 24,134. Quite a show from that man, Jake Odorizzi. McCutchen 0 for 3 tonight. Bird taking his lead off of second. Manager Aaron Boone looking on. Be a 3-2 to McCutchen. Goes off speed, swing and a miss from Andrew McCutchen. Jake Odorizzi's night is over. Greg Bird with the RBI double. The Twins lead 3-1. featuring all 8 episodes from this season airing back-to-back. Get the behind-the-scenes stories of the 2018 Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders tomorrow starting at 7 o'clock, only on Yes. I know the Rail Riders won their first game of the International League playoffs last night at a long rain delay. Don't know how they did tonight, as Zach Britton will get the call here in the 8th inning. You see the numbers for him. Be the top of the lineup: Joe Mauer, Polanco, and Rosario. On our Hyundai scoreboard, the Yankees trailing 3-1. Zach Britton with all that movement right down the middle. Tough for any catcher to receive. Joe Mauer having a good night, 2 for 3, couple of singles, had that grand slam last night. Well, Britton's had some time off as well. He pitched Saturday in Seattle. Breaking ball pulled, the backhand by Bird, the flip to Britton, 1 down. That long run over there, Gary Sanchez going to give Britton a little bit of time to regroup. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. 1 down, bring up Jorge Polanco. Polanco 0 for 3, struck out in the 6th. If you look forward to the top of the 9th inning, it'll be Aaron Hicks, Miguel Andujar, and Giancarlo Stanton.
Just looking at Zach Britton, that sinker, he basically, that's exclusive. He's thrown a few more sliders. He got Joe Mauer out on a slider. But the phenomenal year he had in 2016 with the Orioles, an ERA of .54.
Well, Al, with all those numbers that you're talking about, obviously tough to hit, but this is as tough as it gets for a catcher. 97 miles an hour with just that nasty movement, and it looks like that heavy baseball, which is hard to describe what that means, but you feel this in your shoulders. Whoa, yanks a sinker down and in. You have to be on top of your game behind the plate.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It almost cut, but he throws kind of a unusual sinker, and the ball looks like a screwball. You know, it moves so much away from the right-handed hitter. You'd think it was some sort, and then you look up and say 96, 97.
I do the same thing. I think that has to be a changeup or something with all the movement and the action, and it's 97 miles an hour, so it's incredible movement, which is fantastic. If you can throw the ball over the plate, you're going to get a lot of ground balls, a lot of soft contact. 3-1 to Polanco, fouled off.
I don't know if Zach Britton's come up with a four-seamer, but that there looked more of a four-seam carry through the zone. In the previous one, I know he bounced it, but it also had kind of, watch the ball here. Now, what I was talking, yeah, that's almost has cut to it.
Cut, yeah. Swing and a miss and an elevated fastball. It's a 2 down for Britton.
Yeah, that's just that has a little cut spin to it.
Stevie Donahue coming running out of that Yankee dugout. Trainer for the Yankees. Looked like maybe a little misstep for Zach Britton. Looks like he's going to be fine.
Well, he had the Achilles injury, so there, he did run over the first base to get Maurer out. And I don't know whether he's showing Steve Donahue, the trainer, maybe slip in or something to do with the mound. And a little hop.
We'll bring up Eddie Rosario with 2 down. Rosario has missed some time with a quad injury. Just think of that right there, Al. If you're catching, if you're Gary Sanchez, you're thinking sinker down, right? Is what you, and he throws 97 and it kind of takes off up in the zone. But kind of to my point, one of the toughest guys you'll ever have to catch. Good breaking ball there for strike 2.
Yeah, but Gary's Sanchez is on his one knee, so that's also, you better anticipate down. That is a good breaking ball.
I'm used to seeing him throw a lot of breaking balls. What he comes with here, 0-2. Another breaking ball, weak ground ball to the right side. Gleyber Torres up with it. So we are going to go to the top of the 9th. It's going to be Aaron Hicks, Miguel Andujar, and Giancarlo Stanton. If you are doing more player of the week, 3 players that you can choose from: Didi Gregorius, Gary Sanchez, and Jay Happ. Top of the 9th inning, Yankees down 3-1. Trevor Hildenberger back out there, trying to close this one out. Zach Britton, an easy 1-2-3 inning. Aaron Hicks will lead off, trying to get something going here in the 9th. Hicks 0 for 3, lined out in the 6th inning.
Yeah, you see right there, Aaron Hicks talking back to Sean Barber. Thought that ball was outside.
Well, Aaron Hicks has one of the better eyes in baseball. Usually doesn't expand out of the zone. Thinking obviously trying to come back here, get a runner on base. And Andujar with his power, Stanton with his power, Gregorius 23 home runs. As Hicks hits it to right field, right at Kepler. It looks like he short hopped it. But second base umpire said he came up with a clean, so another outstanding defensive play by the Minnesota Twins.
Wow, all night long. Saw it with Jake Odorizzi on the mound. Aaron Boone, the Yankees are going to check this. I think he caught it. What a play by Max Kepler.
To the naked eye, I thought it was a short hop.
Well, that's a do or die dive here.
That's an out.
Yeah, he got it.
They're not going to check it out, so great play by Kepler. Really been the story of this game. We'll bring up Miguel Andujar. I think he's looking for a base runner. You think back to all those good Minnesota Twins that made their runs in the playoffs. Solid defensive ball clubs, and we've seen outstanding plays tonight. Pulled foul. Hildenberger quickly ahead 1-2.
Yeah, Hildenberger's a frustrating at bat. You can see the assortment automatically thrown across his body, low 3/4. A lot of off speed, changes speeds, changes arm angles.
Well, we knew that this road trip was going to be a tough test for the Yankees. They lost 2 of 3 in Oakland, won 2 of 3 in Seattle. We'll see how this one turns out here. The 1-2 from Hildenberger, that slapped the other way. Nice piece of hitting. Base hit for Andujar. Fans, stick around after the final out for the WB Mason postgame as Bob, Jack, and Meredith bring you the highlights and analysis from tonight's game, and they look ahead to the Yanks weekend series with the Blue Jays. That's all right here on Yes. Well, Al, about 3 hours ago, this was your pick to click. Yankees have a base runner. Got to get something going here in the 9th. Stanton 0 for 2 with a walk. A long time ago, I had a Hall of Fame manager, Sparky Anderson, tell me you always call your game depending on what the scoreboard is going to tell you. That misses down and in, and obviously in a 2-run game right here, one swing of the bat and tie it up. You'd expect Hildenberger to stay away, keep the ball down. See if Stanton's looking out over the plate. Ball drilled to right field, but right at Kepler. And the frustration starting to show from Giancarlo Stanton.
Well, he hit it hard. I think that's what maybe the kind of the smirk of what do I have to do. He stayed on it, kind of pulled a little bit, but a line shot right at Max Kepler. I don't think Max Kepler had to move a whole lot. A lot of hard hit balls tonight. Just right at the Minnesota Twins defenders.
Well, 2 down will bring up Didi Gregorius. He's 0 for 3. Joe Mauer playing behind Andujar. Andujar takes off. Maybe catcher's indifference. Again, Al, if I'm Didi Gregorius, I'm looking out over the plate, right? You would not expect Hildenberger to come down and in. Goes away and misses. 2-0.
No, the danger zone for Didi especially. Likes to pull the ball. Saw what he did last night with the grand slam. Plus, that's Hildenberger's. That's his MO. That slider changeup. He's going to get something soft down the way.
It's a 2-0. Took something off.
There's that changeup. Sidewinder, perfect location, 79 miles an hour. You see the swing with Didi. He's thinking tie this game up.
Yeah, they're not going to give in. The lefty swinging Gregorius. You have first base open, and I know it's a 2-run game, and you might bring the winning run up to the plate, but the right-on-right matchup with Sanchez might be a little more comfortable. We'll see what happens here. 2-1 from Hildenberger. Down and in, ground ball to the right side. Mauer up with it, over to Hildenberger. So the Minnesota Twins are going to take 2 out of 3 from the New York Yankees. The Yankees have had so much success against the Twins, so much success here at Target Field. And now things are getting interesting with the Oakland A's winning, the Boston Red Sox winning. A lead for the home game in the wild card down to 1. The Yankees will fly home, enjoy an off day, and look forward to their final homestand. Twins win this one 3-1. We'll be back.